And then I have some friends who have gone through their own personal chronic health issues, and to be able to rely on them, it's also very different, right? I have friends who have different, illnesses than me or health issues than me. And then do have a few friends with MS. One is 10 years older than me, and one's almost 10 years younger than me. And they have been the best supports I have had through the actual MS journey, who have it as well. Um, it's cool because MS is also known as a snowflake disease, where no two MS symptoms or people with MS are the same because their symptoms are so different. So the one older than me, she struggles with a lot more leg issues and cognitive issues, and the one younger than me, it's a lot of mobility issues, and she also, one of her eyes, she can't see through one of her eyes properly. So it's very different. And it's interesting because, I look to them and I'm like, you guys inspire me so much of how you get through it. And then they tell me that. And I'm like, but our symptoms are so different. Mine is very much invisible. If you see me, I'm walking down the street, you're not going to really tell I have MS unless I'm really limping, right? But then I see some of my friends and I'm just like, to know that you are so visibly seen as somebody struggling, I don't know how you do it, right? So, um, in a nutshell, like, having to cope with how I've been going through this has been a struggle, but definitely the friend support, definitely the therapy, writing, the poetry, having those outlets are so helpful. And I think the last one, obviously, I do want to mention, like, my family has been great. They've been very supportive. Um, but another one is also nature. I love going for walks because I've literally been a homebody since I got diagnosed, being able just to get some fresh air and go for these walks. There's a park near my place. It's quite big, like a field. And it used to take me 45 minutes to walk that. And now 9 minutes to do a whole lap. And I never imagined that I could do that again. I never thought that I'd be getting to the point of like, hey, I can start jogging again. Like, I can do this. And I do know that, like, even if I go into remission where my symptoms are, where I'm almost semi-symptom free, I know it's going to come back one day harder than ever. But I do cherish these moments, the time that I have now, because I don't know what my future holds. I don't know what's going to happen. I live, and I say this a lot, is that I live in uncertainty every day. Some of my friends with MS, they wake up, they know their symptoms for the day. With me, I can wake up and have different symptoms every single day, and that will literally guide me on how my day is actually going to be. So a lot of the coping just comes with having or trying to be positive and having good mental health. And with that, it's everything I've just spoken about. So, yeah.
Wow. I don't really have to do much here. You're doing all the work. That was just beautifully said. I have a million things I want to talk about, but yeah, just I think so life changing is what I get from that too. It's like do you look back and you're like, that's a whole other person than I am today? Is that, do you feel that real transformation, and do you feel it in a positive way as well?
Yeah, it's really interesting that you bring that up, because actually my last therapy session, I was telling my therapist, like, I'm struggling with the old Alisha versus the new Alisha. And he's like, why are you looking at it like that? I'm like, how else do you look at this? Like, I feel like I'm a different person. He's like, why don't you just say you're evolving? You're the evolved Alisha, right? You've never changed. Your core values, who you are, is still there. You've just evolved because of the circumstances, the time, what's happened to you. So don't say old Alisha versus new Alisha. Just say that you have evolved. And that really put a lot of this into perspective, right? And yeah, it's living that positive life, living that as stress-free as I can lifestyle to make sure that I'm not getting worse. I'm not putting myself in situations. I don't know how many people have like talked about spoon theory before, but in the chronic illness world, you have 10 spoons in a day. Each activity that you do will be a different amount of spoons. So if you only have 10 spoons and it takes like 2 spoons to shower, 1 spoon to eat, 2 spoons or 3 spoons to even clean up your house, you only have 4 spoons left. What are you going to do with those, right? And it's hard when you don't have that energy and where you want to do 10 things in a day and you can't, right? So for me, it's really just understanding how much time I have and what I can do. And if I can't do those 10 things, it's okay. I'm going to have to be okay with it, and whoever I'm with has to be okay with it too, right?